When a woman keeps telling you she won't sleep with you on the first date and she just keeps bringing it up over and over again, you want to know why that is? It's because she's, and you and I probably agree with this, there's too much red pill manosphere content that comes off as like hateful towards women. None of this is hateful towards women. It's just you need to know. It's like if I'm an oncologist and I describe what pancreatic cancer does, it doesn't mean I hate pancreatic cancer and I'm not condoning it, but I at least want to know the playing field that I'm on. And this is another situation where we should at least be wise to these concepts.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you have the knowledge and you're not, the whole blue pill sort of thing, just kind of living life in a fairy tale and just unaware and naive, then you'll set yourself up for success in this modern dating culture. And that's what kind of got me into this whole dating landscape was actually the red pill knowledge that I was consuming back in like 2020, because like before that I wasn't really hearing harsh truths to that degree being spoken. But in my own personal life and dating life, it was starting to make sense. I was like, okay, like when I don't get validation out too fast, they respect me more. When I do kind of showcase these characteristics, it does seem to be more attractive, or she does act this certain way when I do this or do that. So a lot of red pill theories, in my opinion, are true. And a lot of it also stems from evolutionary psychology, in my opinion, too. Like it has like ties to that. And that answered a lot of questions for me.
Yeah. For sure. When Ty Lopez introduced me to Dr. Buss and I read The Evolution of Desire and I started seeing, and then I talked to Dr. Buss on my podcast and he started talking about mate choice copying. I was like, oh, there's actually a scientific term for being a player. Okay, I didn't know that. It's like, and it validates this thing that you've seen anecdotally, but you want, some academic bias behind it. Now, the problem is, I will tell you though, you'll probably notice this, there's a lot of evolutionary psychologists now that see how this is going and they're trying to shy away from this. And so I'm trying to create a space where we can have these conversations. Sometimes you talk about, Mac and Murphy, Alex Datesike, William Costello, guys like that, like where we can have a discussion about this is what you've seen in the studies and then this is what we see in practice. You and I have probably had enough experience with women to where we know, like, I don't really care what the study is. I know these things work versus these things. Like, for instance, the dad bod myth. That was something, I didn't care how many women told me they preferred a dad bod. I knew what they were saying wasn't true because I had watched too many guys I knew who didn't have a dad bod have sex with too many women, and too many of these women cheat on their boyfriends with those guys for me to possibly believe that women were actually actively seeking a dad bod. Can you talk about that? I think you did have one clip about the dad bod myth.
Yeah. Women have been talking about the dad bod for a few years, and they always mean either an attractive muscular physique with just a little bit added body fat, so instead of 12%, he's just 16%. They call that a dad bod. Or they just blatantly lie and just follow the trend. Because, women, like if one girl says it, another girl, and then everybody starts saying it. And it's just a plain out lie. And that stems also into another sort of red pill, sort of true sort of thing, is the fact that you need to look at their actions, not what they say. And so once you do that, it'll kind of dismiss that whole argument altogether, unless you genuinely just get to a dad bods. And from that reason, that could be a deeper insecurity issue.
I say this on my show all the time. I was like, when a woman keeps telling you she won't sleep with you on the first date and she just keeps bringing it up over and over again, you want to know why that is? It's because she slept with someone on the first date. You talked about the concept of women selling purity or telling you that they're celibate.
Yeah, sometimes on dates, you'll come across girls who will make it clear or very overt to you that, hey, my intentions tonight aren't sexual, or I've been in this phase of my life, so don't be expecting anything. And that tells me a few things. Like if they're celibate, two reasons. Either you're celibate because you weren't celibate for a long period of time, and now you're in a phase to where you kind of want to take a break from all the D you've been taking.
The epiphany phase that Rollo talks about. Yeah,
exactly. Especially, older women, 26, 27 plus, especially. Or two, you're just plain out lying. You're just trying to sell purity to me so that I can take you seriously because you see value in me, or in some type of way I position myself in the husband box. And for that reason, you don't see me as a fun time, And sometimes I'll put myself in this box by accident, through conversation. If I'm too invested into like her life or career or like what you want, like sometimes you can put yourself in that husband box. And for that reason, a woman will kind of change her mind about you. So for the most part, has almost always been a lie once I get to know the girl, and I kind of do, we have conversations and I backtrack and I'm like, okay, you actually were not celebrate throughout that time.
Yeah.
They just love selling purity to guys who they
S-
find very attractive, or they
Yeah.
want some sort of commitment from.
Sleeping with your ex like, apparently didn't count. That's what they were saying.
You
Yeah,
know,
I've definitely talked to women who are like, that guy's too good looking and I don't want to go out with him because she's been cheated on before. I know one woman, she's a star, and she told me she deliberately looks to date ugly men, even though she has sex on camera with other dudes. She's like, I don't want to date guys that are too attractive because they might cheat on me. And I'm like, wait, what?
yeah.
What did you say? It's pretty crazy, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, even for both genders, if you date like a really attractive girl, to some degree, you have to have like a bit of groundedness. Because
Yeah.
other guys are going to hit on her. She might get catcalled as you guys are walking down the street together. Like stuff just happens when you're with an attractive woman. And same thing with a really attractive guy. And a lot of women don't want to potentially deal with that.
Yeah. I thought it was a really interesting thing. You could go back and tell yourself at the beginning of this journey, you're like almost last year of ROTC, if there were 5 things you could go back and tell yourself and warn yourself back then, what would those be?
In terms of life or like
In
dating?
life in general, like, and it can't be buy, Bitcoin at $5. Like you understand what I'm saying? Like just generalities in life. What were some things you would go back and tell yourself?
Gotcha. Learn from your first mistake and don't get the benefit of the doubt, I would say. Just overall, just learn from your experiences and learn the very first time so that you don't keep making the same mistake, wasted time, wasted effort. So that's the first thing I would say. Second thing is consistency triumphs everything. That's one thing I have done right in my life is that I've always been just very consistent in everything and anything that I do. And for that reason, that's why I've seen results and success in it. It's hard for me to quit. 3, put 100% effort in everything that you do. And this is a mindset that I cultivated while I was in RTC, actually, is the fact that I wanted to be the best in everything that I do, whether it be fitness, the PT test, whether it be academics, whether it be learning a new skill. I was big in calisthenics, like fitness, so I wanted to be the best at that. At one point, I was solving Rubik's cubes for speed solves and times. I wanted to be the best in that. So I've had many hobbies and different avenues. I just wanted to be like literally the best in the world. That's why I tell myself I want to be the best in the world. So if I train and if my routine acts as if like I'm training to be the best in the world, then I have no choice but to succeed.
Yeah.
Like nobody's going to beat me.
Yeah.
Where I was at number 3, I would say always be learning. Knowledge is power. I recently started reading a lot more, but even before then, like I've always been like an internet kid, whether it be like searching information on YouTube, Reddit, forums. The reason why I got into this too is that the fact that I've always been really intrigued about stuff. So
Yeah.
even when I was like 16, I was on So Suave forums and
Yeah.
PUA forums learning about dating dynamics, and I was a virgin because it just
Yeah.
intrigued me. So like have a curiosity for life.
Have you tried the double speed audiobooks? Have you ever tried that before?
I used to do that when I was walking,
Yeah.
but I really just prefer just to get some paper and just read
Got
it.
it. Got it.
Health is wealth. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, if you're not healthy, if you don't feel your best, if you're not operating at your highest efficiency, then it's going to be hard to remain consistent. It's going to be hard to tackle the everyday tasks, whether it be like physical or mental. Stay away from vices and drugs. You might think that they're not harming you, but you're not operating at your 100% max capable efficiency if you're diving in vices. I've done a lot of research on like dopamine and reward systems in terms of that, and now on a daily basis, I'm like, if I'm spiking my dopamine with cheap sources, like I avoid it because I have noticed a direct correlation into my mood and my motivation towards life and tackling my goals whenever I'm not diving in that stuff and just maintaining an overall just positive mental health and physical health.